Welcome to ProPractice, your guide to refine, enliven, and illuminate the piano repertoire. I'm Josh Wright, and today's episode is part of the new technique series, which is where we go through scales, arpeggios, triads, and seventh chords in each key. And each video will present a new technique that you can use to spice up your practice and to not just get caught in the trap of only using the metronome slow to fast for your exercises. So today we're going to go over 9 rhythms. These are more advanced. This is why I've saved it for the end of the series. And today let's go ahead and start off with arpeggios. On each video I try to alternate which one of these concepts I start with. So today we'll do arpeggios. Let's just go over the basics of fingering. And for B flat major, I have something a little different than a lot of people recommend. Like Hannon, they recommend the left hand is 3-2-1, 3-2-1, 3-2-1, 3-2-1, which works fine on its own, but I find that when you put it together with the right hand, which is doing, like, you can start with 3 or 2 or 4, whatever you want, but 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, I find that it's a little more difficult to put it together because your hands aren't symmetrical. They're crossing over at different points. And so what I like to do is I like to start 2-1 in the left hand and then 4-2-1, 4-2-1, 4-2-1. Now your hands are going to be parallel and symmetrical. 4s and 2s, 4s and 2s, 1s, 4s and 2s, 4s and 2s. If you like 3-2-1 in the left hand, you can tell I don't practice that one very much because I like the other one. But you can do whatever you'd like. Okay, so to do a 9 rhythm, we have to go over slowly how to do this first. If you've watched the 5 and the 7 rhythms videos, I think those were a few videos back in this series. And we went over that you have to be very light on your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then on 9, we're going to throw our wrist up and be nice and loud. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then you have a partial one. 9 rhythms are probably a little more useful on scales just because they get you have more notes to deal with. Arpeggios, it's done before 3 repetitions are even through. But let's try that a little faster. Okay, now faster. I always lose count. What you can do to help you remember rather than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, like, you know, stumbling in your mind, you can think 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And if you're doing something like the arpeggio, you can just make a mental note. I'm going to stop on the D on the way down. So I stop on the F, stop on the D. Okay, let's try left hand. You can stop longer on your long notes if you're struggling as well. Wait. And these are really tough. I would not start out by trying these. I would start with 5 rhythms and then go to 7 and then go to 9. Let's try it together. Let's see. Just explain really quick in case this is your first video that you're watching of this series. The reason 5, 7, and 9 rhythms are so good, first of all, they're extremely awkward, so when you go back to normal practicing, it seems much easier. The second thing is they don't lend themselves, this kind of goes in the awkward thing, they don't lend themselves to like specific rhythms like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and it starts in very weird places. The other thing, the reason we're doing this is it gives us little bursts of speed. So you can imagine a 5 rhythm will be a smaller burst of speed than a 9 rhythm. And so 9 rhythms are a little more advanced because you have to do a longer burst of speed and then stop. And then a longer burst of speed and then stop. What that does is it helps your mind organize the music more easily when you go back to normal practice. And it also makes it so that you're used to stopping at any given spot. So if you have like a weakness like that or something, you're gonna have to stop in very weird places. Okay, now the trick to 5, 7, and 9 rhythms, especially 9 rhythms, this is why this takes so dang long, is you don't want to just start 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and then move on in your practice. You also want to start from the second note and the third note, fourth note, fifth note, sixth note, seventh note, eighth note, and the ninth note. That will give you 9 different variations on that rhythm. So for instance, if we want to start on this, make sure you got your right fingering. Okay, and then from the third note, up. And 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. These are super hard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. By the way, I would sit and work each of these until it was perfect. I'm just doing this to save time so I don't hopefully bore you too much here. Again, sometimes coming up with new ways to work on scales and arpeggios might seem like a dry thing, but it keeps things much more interesting if you have like 12 different ways to practice these, which by the end of this series you'll have actually more than that because I go over several concepts in certain videos. So you'll have over 12 ways to practice your arpeggios and scales and triads and seventh chords by the end of this series. All right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then you can do it from 9 just to help you with that top one, but as you notice, you're not even going to get 2 full repetitions. So again, this is very useful in scales, somewhat useful in arpeggios, just to help you, but it's over really quick. So just expect that. All right, let's try B flat minor. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Or sorry. Sometimes when you're counting off your groups, you go to the end of the group rather than just to the B flat. Again, what I'm thinking of is keeping very fluid wrist, and I'm going to keep my elbow pretty stable. I don't want to be going in and out a lot like this, because if you do that, it causes inefficiency, and when you get into higher speeds, you won't be able to keep up. Whereas this is very efficient. The other thing that makes this particular arpeggio difficult is you're crossing over to all these black keys, and you can slip off easily. So if you need to, practice eyes closed. And you'll notice it might not be like this one. That crossover might not be hard because of the positioning in front of your body. But this one might be more difficult right there because you're up here. So maybe I'm missing that one. Another thing is sometimes I cross my legs under just while I'm doing this. And a good thing to do is just to pretend like you're riding a horse or riding on a motorcycle or something. Plant your feet into the ground. That'll give you better balance, and usually it helps a little with accuracy as well. Okay, now this one, I will use 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1s. Those are parallel, or symmetrical. Thank you so much for watching. As with all ProPractice videos, the first section is free. If you'd like to view the rest of this video, or if you'd like to learn more about ProPractice, just click on the link on this screen or on the link in the comments section below. Also, if you could like this video, share it, or leave a comment below so it can be shared with as many people as possible, I would truly appreciate it. Thank you so much for your support of ProPractice.